Sometimes, we live in a kill the messenger society, even though, excuse me, it's easy to say that the message should supersede the messenger. Now, some people don't like that, but it is what it is. So I'm just going to let someone else talk so you can't say that. I'll let somebody else do the talking, okay? All right, let's go.
I think it's so interesting when, as of late, you've been seeing or hearing men, complain, or they don't necessarily have the best view or experiences dating single mothers, right? And then a lot of times you'll have the women, counteract, and they'll say, well, how can you feel this way about single mothers when your mom was a single mom, right? That's typically.
Now, and remember, all of us didn't come from single mothers. I didn't. Saw my dad every day up until I freaking left school and joined the United States Army Field Artillery Corps, Air Mobile Division. You got to jump. I mean, what good is going if you don't get to jump out of a freaking airplane, right? What the hell was I thinking? Anyway, I've heard that argument, what she just said. Well, you come from a single mother. Okay, I equate that as saying that dude don't want to mess with or even a woman, because a lot of women say they don't want to mess with dudes with kids. I don't blame them. I've said that plenty of times. If she doesn't have any kids and he has kids and y'all ain't just messing around, leave him alone. You need to get you a man that don't have kids. Now, most women don't have a problem when I say that about them. Ma'am, do you have kids? Yeah. He got 3 kids by 2 different chicks, 3 different chicks, whatever. Leave him alone. Well, I can't make you do it, but if you ask me, I tell you to leave him alone. But it's only a problem when I say it about the other way around. But anyway, well, you from a single mama, that's kind of messed up. That's like saying, well, you're from a heroin addict, so how come you don't want to mess with me because I'm a heroin addict? Because of course, he had a choice, or any of us, we have a choice of being born to who we're born from. You don't get to choose your parents. You're just here. So whether they were married, divorced, single, she know who the daddy is, she don't know who the daddy is, she got an idea, whatever. Same with the men. Stop that when they, well, you came from a single mother. Okay, but then you came from a heroin addict, you came from a crackhead, you came from a bank robber, you came from an axe murderer. How come you won't date me because I'm an axe murderer when your mama was an axe murderer? When you put it like that, it makes no sense. Okay? Onward. Let me let this young lady finish it out. Y'all know what I'm saying.
The rebuttal. And in most cases, yes, a lot of us came from, single parent homes. But here's the thing, that's why I speak the way that I do, because I'd like to try to provide not only a man and woman perspective, or just kind of offer, I understand both sides to a degree, but then I think the side that gets neglected is the child's view, right? And I think we need to take that more into consideration. Y'all don't like what men have to say. And even if they had a single mother, that's the thing. They experienced it. They know what it's like growing up in a single parent home. They know what it's like growing up without a dad. Even, women, if you had a single mother, you know what it's like to grow up without having that father figure there full time. So again, why y'all want them to respect that position, but they looked at their mom probably struggle because she had to do it by herself, which she shouldn't have had to, but she did. And he realized he didn't want that. And some actually have, toxic moms where they didn't operate or they didn't act the way that they should have, right? As a single parent.
Crunch, crunch, crunch. Man, look here. I've said this in videos before. I knew a family, personally, friends of mine, 2 brothers, one of them named Rayford, the other one named Maurice. They lived on Schaefer Street, not far from where I grew up. Their mother, now, I'm not going to go through all the stuff that I seen her do and some of the things I've seen her do and say to them. Oh my goodness. If there was ever a case for the county to step in, that would have been it. I know they're grown men now. Hell, one of them, well, not one of them, but I know a guy now that's in the pen, murked a few people, armed robbery went bad. I ain't blaming that on his mama, but I remember she used to literally brutalize. She would literally brutalize this guy in front of us. We sitting on the porch or whatever the hell. Here she come down the street like, hey man, ain't that your mama? Walk right up. What did I tell you? You don't get nowhere till you take out that house. What the hell y'all looking at? Spitting popcorn and stuff. Whoa. Now I know why daddy said to stay away from them. She's right. A lot of dudes grew up with horrible mamas, so that you came from a single mama. Yeah, that's why I don't want to go back to it, because he's already scarred from living in a house of horrors. Happens to girls too. Girls done got brutal. Now, I didn't know any, but just because I didn't know any girls that got brutalized by their single mama, don't mean no girls didn't get brutalized, because I'm quite sure there's a whole bunch of girls that got treated bad by their mama.
That's a thing. I don't know why women think that every single mother is just this immaculate mom. And that's not always the case. So if a man, even though he might have had a single mother and he's adamant about not dating single women, it's because he's had that experience from a child point of view. I've even had that experience. And, one thing that I was adamant about was breaking that, some would call it a curse, breaking that generational curse. I wanted to be able to offer my kids, a 2-parent household, right? I wanted to have my kids by a man that wanted me to have his kids, that's proud to have kids by me. And so that's, how I move. So I don't understand why women think that men should have.
And I'm going to say it. If she's as nice of a person as she is nice looking, somebody done hit a home run.
This utmost respect for single mothers, when really that is probably not the most conducive situation to bring a child in. No child would typically choose a single parent, only one parent to depend on. Okay. And even as adults, we can agree that 2 is better than 1. Okay. So again, y'all want men to show more respect to single mothers in the cases where their moms were single moms. But again, because they had single mothers, they realized what they didn't want to deal with, and they realized what comes with that, because they were that child. And women got to start paying attention. That's why I'm like, women get so caught up in their individual choices and their individual happiness and their individual needs, and they're making these decisions based on themselves, that the children, again, their feelings don't get taken into consideration. So they grow up, realizing, well, at least some of us, realizing that ain't what they want. They don't want to deal anything, they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to create broken homes, and they don't want to deal with somebody that has a pre-made family. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's women that don't want to deal with single fathers either. It's a lot that comes with that at times.
I got a video. It's here. I hope I remember. I'll put the link below. Well, a lady was on Kendra G's call-in show, and she was asking her, now, y'all know Kendra asks the standard questions. Where you from, sweetie? Where you from, boo-boo? Now, of course, if you driving, you can't do the Kendra cam. She ain't gonna, well, I'm driving. You need to pull over then. Well, okay, then you ain't having it. Anyway, the Kendra cam. That's actually pretty catchy. The lady had 3 kids, okay, by different dudes. That was at the beginning. Then you know how it goes on and I cut out all the fluff to where she said was some deal breakers. Guess what her deal breakers was, folks? Guess what her deal breakers was? Dude that had baby mamas. So Kendra said to her, so using that logic, you wouldn't date yourself. And she froze for a second. And Kendra was like, I'll put hopefully I remember. If I forget, somebody remind me, Nick, you forgot the link. And I'll put it up. You a baby mama, but you only want a dude that don't have baby mamas, but you a baby mama. And the same thing, because y'all know I gotta say this to keep the wolves at bay. I say the same thing to dudes. The dudes, I told y'all about a dude I know personally named Ken. I've spoke about him. You have 3 kids by 2 different chicks, and you wasn't married to neither one of them. How can you say that now that you older that you won't date a chick that got children, as you say? Dude, what? Anyway, man, let me let her go. Y'all know what I'm saying.
And then this is what the kicker is. There's a lot that comes with it. If you have single mothers who don't even want to deal with men who have kids. Imagine that. So as a single mother, you don't want to deal, and this is I've seen some women say this, you don't want to deal with a man that already has kids. Why? If men are supposed to respect that role and that position, why wouldn't you want to deal with that? Why would you request a man without kids if, that position is just great?
Bye, Felicia.
That's the sought after position. Y'all got to keep that in mind. That's how y'all just be saying anything. And this is how I know women talk a lot out of their emotions and not logically. Stop expecting these men to respect, single motherhood if they didn't have the best example or experience from it. Nobody essentially as a child wants to grow up with just one parent in the household. I don't know when we thought that was, normal. But yeah, typically, no, kids understand that they're supposed to have 2, not 1. And some have actually tried to give single mothers a chance, and they didn't have the best experience in that regard. So we have to take into consideration, a lot of times these men that are willing to try to take on being a step parent are typically not respected, right? You all are going to put your children, above that man, which, we understand, but that impacts, that situation. So it's a lot that comes with that. It's a lot that comes with that. And a lot of times when men say that, they're a little bit scarred from dealing with single mothers.
Any questions? Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Massive, because Massive Dynamics says so. That's how they make their money. Y'all be good and be safe. Bye.